Hi, my name's Vicky Poole, and I want to share a few insights on active unlearning, specifically around a particular phrase that comes up all the time for my clients, which is, oh my God, how can they do it? And I can't, right? So, the particular example that comes up is my mum managed to do all these things and she wasn't stressed. How can I not do the same things as her? And right. So what's going on here is that you look at back at your mom or you look at somebody and you just really sort of delve into their life. So to keep the example going, right? Let's just have a look at something that I can really resonate with. So this is now my story, okay? So my mom brought me up in the 80s and 90s. She managed the house. She did everything for me, all of the, she took me to the events, the clubs, everything. And I simply just couldn't keep up with that. I mean, there was different clubs going on every evening. I was more tired as a kid than what my mum was taking me to all these things. And now that I have a 2-year old and I have a husband, I've got 2 cats, I run my own business, and it's the how do I do all this stuff? And then you have like this meltdown. And that meltdown is because you see everyone else handling their shit. And they're doing it so much better than you. Well, let's just kind of really bring that round full circle. You don't know what's going on in someone else's life. I don't know what's going on with them. They could have got up at 3 o'clock in the morning and they go to bed at 6 o'clock in the evening. And that's how they look so productive at 8 o'clock in the morning. For me, I bring everything back to simplicity. So let's look at the situation. So it's 2021. My mum was bringing me up in the 80s. So that was before mobile phones. That was before internet, right? There was 4 TV channels. The only thing that you could do were events, sports clubs, dance clubs, events. And that's what we did. My mum used to come with me and read books while she was waiting for me to finish my kickboxing class because it was a way to keep active and the way to keep her mind stimulated. She would create to-do lists of the stuff that she needed to get done and in what order that stuff needed to be done in. So when she got home, she knew with certainty what she needed to do first. I like that, right? So let's have a look in 2021. We've got things like social media. Um, Most of the women now work, whereas my mum, she didn't work full time. So there was more time for her to do the stuff that she needed to do to look after me. Um, Things now take more time because you get easily distracted, right? So you get like this beep, beep, beep on your phone. You're always checking it. You get distracted, and before you know it, you spend 3 hours looking at social media, and none of the stuff that's on your to-do list, right? So all this stuff starts piling up. So bring it back to simplicity, all right? You got like the 1980s and 90s view of the world where everything's simple, simpler. There's no social media, no TV. And then you've got today's world, which, everything's on your phone. There's always a sense of urgency around it. You're running around from pillar to post, trying to do everything. And that's what causes the meltdown. So let's have a look at how we can actively unlearn some of these things. So I'm going to give you now a top tip that I give to everybody, and it's so simple. Okay. First, you write down everything on a to-do list that you need to get done. Doesn't matter if it's putting the bins out, grooming the cat, whatever. You write down everything on that list. You got it? Pull out the things from that list that have a time commitment, that are time sensitive. For example, if the bins go out on a Thursday and it's currently Monday, that is not time sensitive for today, right? So let's look at the time sensitive things for today. And you might have one thing on that list. You could have 10, right? Doesn't matter. Pull out those things on a list. Okay. And then from that list, that is then like your daily to-dos. From that list, you take the 3 or 4 things on there and you write it on a sticky note, like a post-it or a scrap piece of paper. And that becomes your daily goal, right? So now you have your daily goal list. Now, Give yourself a power hour, which is an hour that you turn off all your tech. So mute your phone for an hour, and you just do those 4 things on that to-do list. And then once you've done them, if there's time left, go back to your daily to-dos. You can do absolutely everything that everyone else can do. There is no qualm about that. It's all about your mindset and how your mind physically works. We think that we look at someone else and they seem to have like everything's perfect, right? They are going to have their own struggles. Their struggles are going to be different to yours because you're 2 different people. We live in a world with nearly 9 billion people. There are going to be nearly 9 billion different sets of wishes and wants and desires and stresses and strains and everything else. Okay? When it comes to, looking at yourself and to others, look at what is really going on. Why do you think their life is so much simpler? Because they don't have the same stuff as you. Bring everything back to you and keep it simple, right? Actively unlearn to compare yourself to other people. When you look at, so for me, to-do lists are a huge, huge thing, because I look at my mom and she was able to cover off everything that she needed to get done so quickly. So I bring everything back to this particular list in the way that my mum approached it. And when I approach things in the same way, i.e., have the to-do list, pull out the daily goals, then have like a daily, like a must-do action list, jobber, and then I give myself a power hour with no tech to be able to do it, I am way more productive than anything else, than anyone else. Sorry, Freudian slip. And when I say this to my clients, and they actually go off and implement it, they all tell me, oh my God, Vic, this is so simple. How have I not known about this before? I've got people getting ready to train for marathons because they found this in their power hour, right? They're getting, they're taking their business to the next level. One of my clients, she did a whole quarter's worth of revenue in 2 weeks because she found the energy in that power hour to do stuff that was purely about her business. So my offer to you today is to look at some things that you actively unlearn. And when you catch yourself saying, oh my God, how can they do this and I can't? Bring everything back, make it simple. And if you're like me and you like lists, create your to-do list, create your daily action list, and then your daily goals, and then do your daily goals on a power hour with no technology whatsoever. Cool. So if this has been useful for you, I'd really love for you to let me know in the comments below, and you can check me out. My name is Vicky Poole, and you can catch me at #VickyPooleCoaching. Have a lovely day, guys.